Hey guys, welcome to the Coffee Talk podcast. I am the host for today. I'm Hugo, and here are my parents, Anne, which is like the regular host of the show. You probably heard on the past podcast. Just listen to that.
Hey everyone.
Hi. And then we have our other guest of the week, my dad, Christian. So say hi. And
All right. Thank you, Hugo, for having us today.
of course.
I had a couple questions to ask you before we get started, since it's like family day.
Yeah, family podcast day.
Family podcast day.
Oh.
Okay, so my question for you, I know that we have been in, as first responders, first responder family for a long time. You've kind of grown up. I used to take you to Explorers when you were in your little backward-facing car seat, and you've kind of been...
And the little yellow Saturn.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I remember it. Yeah,
Do you remember that thing?
I remember that exact car, yeah.
So, yeah, that was a long time ago, but that's how we got started, and you've been on this journey with us. So, what's it like having two first responder parents in one household? Obviously, one being the better paramedic than the other, but what's that like for you?
Ooh, hot takes. Hot takes this time around. It's really interesting. See, there's like the whole thing of like schedules, the way that the system works, and the two parents going out around the same times. I remember when I was little, I used to go late on your not calls, but yeah. And it'd be really nice to see you after those long days when we talk, and it'd be awesome. Another funny thing, I like to think of it as funny, other people might call it gross, is that nothing is off limits during dinner time.
I know. Sometimes we do talk about some ridiculous things while having dinner.
Yeah, I mean, get used to it after a while, of course. Yes. But it's just like funny because you never think of that as like another like family household.
Yeah.
Like that's like something that mostly EMS parents
I know.
go through. So,
Well,
like, yeah.
I think it's important for you to know what we talk about. We have to deal with some real stuff out there. And, we don't want to shield you from that and it be a surprise. But I think it's good for you to kind of know where we're coming from and what our experiences have been for us when we're not with you and the people that we've seen and helped. I think it's all part of understanding what we do and why we do it,
Yeah.
It gives you a little bit of insight into our side of things. Plus, you're a science nerd.
Yeah, I'm a big biology
You
science
know
nerd.
all about the human body, and we just kind of give a little more depth
Probably
to
than you
something.
want to know when we're eating dinner. But
Yeah.
Oh, well, what's some good things about, just kind of being a part of this crazy, wacky family and what are some things that you've seen with us being first responders that are like challenges that maybe you see we don't see?
Yeah. If I'm ever hurt or if anybody in the near vicinity is ever hurt, you almost never need to call 911.
Yeah.
Like right there, you're right on it.
Yeah.
You're right there. It's really like easy to be taken care of.
Yeah.
Like as a first responders, you guys have like really in-depth like know-how of it, the body works, and like if you have an injury, you guys know how to like treat it real quickly and efficiently, and it's really useful. I ask a lot of stuff like, hey, is this fine to like eat or whatever, because things happen. You might get the stomach flu one day, you're barfing in the toilet next time. So it's nice to have parents that can help you through those times.
Yes.
And help you say if I broke a bone, which I've never had. Luckily.
Probably because I wrapped you in bubble wrap your entire life.
From like 2
Probably not the best thing,
Yeah.
but yeah.
And I've taken off the bubble wrap. So
I
there we
know.
go.
Yeah.
We've worked on it a little bit.
One of the disadvantages, I would say, is Hugo can never fake being sick.
No,
can
you really
never.
can't.
I
You really
cannot.
can't.
You're not getting away with nothing there.
and I never have.
Yeah.
I never have.
That's cool. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I think that's one of the benefits of having EMS parents.
Yeah.
I guess, or like parents in the medical field.
Yeah.
To say.
Cool. Well, honey, I have a question for you. Since it's family day, you are my husband. I get to say that.
Ooh.
And you're
I
my wife.
know.
My wife.
Okay. All right. Settle down. We've been married for 30.
I think it's been like
4 days.
I
34
think it's
days.
been yeah.
It's been a whole month and plus. We've been married. It's awesome. But I know we've been together for 7 years. And I guess, my question is, what do you think for us, what do you think has been some of the good things about us being both in this profession and being able to support each other at home, or you being able to come home and being able to talk to me, knowing that in some capacity I've done what you do, or in the past I've ran those calls or been in those places. What's that like for you, with us?
I think it makes a big difference because, a long time ago, with relationships past, I used to work on the 24-hour car, and people that aren't necessarily in the field don't quite grasp what it's like to be awake for 24 hours and be thinking about somebody else's needs or 15 other people's needs for a whole 24-hour period. And I'd come home and be tired, and she would want to go do something, and it didn't quite translate as well. But you've been there, you've worked a 24-hour shift, you know what it's like to have to deal with that. And that makes a big difference, having somebody that's had bad calls and understands what it's like. And you can tell usually when I come home if it's been a bad day, or if I've had a rough call, or if it's just been busy.
Yeah.
And just mind-numbingly tired after. And
yeah,
that's a big benefit to that, for sure.
Kind of on a rest after that.
You know when I need to talk about something or when I don't, or that's a huge part of it as well. And as first responders, we don't do very well with, as a whole, not saying personally, because we've gotten a lot better with that, but recognizing what it is that's bugging you and knowing when you should talk about it with somebody.
Yeah.
I think we've gotten a lot better with that. And even when it's something like we don't necessarily want to talk about right now, we both are good at pulling that out and bringing it up so that we can kind of lay it to rest and figure out what it is that's causing issues. Or
processing stuff as it happens is interesting, and I think that's a really cool thing for me is sometimes if I'm telling a joke that's a little off color, or like a little less than politically correct.
Those are the best jokes.
Well,
they are.
Well,
they can be.
Some of them are pretty bad. But, if something happens and I do tell a joke like that, like, you can tell if there's something underneath that I need to unpack a little bit. And, you'll, even you, Hugo, it will, hey, how did that call go? Or, what happened at work that, what's going on? And you can tell, especially over the years, that even though we could joke and laugh about it, that there might be something more there that we can later on discuss and maybe process in a healthier way. And I think just knowing that, as a first responder family is really good. And even though you haven't run the calls, Hugo, or you haven't been there, knowing that stuff is really helpful for all of us. And I think you're pretty understanding, of what's going on with us internally sometimes because of it. I feel like you're pretty intuitive with that.
Yeah, you're right. Like, I tend to see, like, oh, this might be a really hard call, or there's a very long day, I should probably ask how it is. Because even though I'm not technically in the field, or I don't have as much hands-on experience, I know, like, how stressful, how crazy it can be. And another thing about the whole dark humor thing, I'm a fan of dark humor, especially living in, like, an EMS family. Like, they can be some of the funniest jokes or moments you could have kind of with the family.
Yeah.
It's just like a really dark, or as you're saying, like, off-color joke. And I think it's because one thing is that, like, humor really, like, helps you with coping with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
When I say, like, laughter is the best medicine, like, it's true. Like, when I'm trying to, like, meet new people, or it's like an awkward social situation, I tend to personally use comedy or funny moments, or little funny jokes or comments to kind of help make that connection. So, like, for example, I was at Starbucks not too long ago with my uncle, and I go, hey, my name for my drink is Hugo, Hugo. Despite its simplicity, a lot of people get that wrong. And they're like, oh, yeah, me too. My name, too, gets mixed up. And it was just like, I think it was like Kayla or something. It was like spelled really weird. Well, I was like, oh, yeah, that's really funny, too. Like, it kind of helped, like, bridge the gap. That's, like, an example of comedy really helping cope, or really helping, like, connecting with people. So whenever I hear dark comedy, I don't go, oh, you shouldn't be saying that. That's really wrong. No, it's really funny, and it really helps.
Yeah.
But when you're trying to connect with a person, or when you're trying to bridge that gap between, I guess not knowing and knowing, but kind of between two different people.
Yeah.
And on like a different level.
Right.
That's why I personally love comedy.
The hard part about that is knowing your audience.
Oh, yeah, that's
Oh
true.
my gosh, absolutely know your audience. I have done that a couple times where I was not aware of that.
Yes, before you go on the tangent about telling how I tell inappropriate stories
You
all
do
the time.
tell inappropriate
It's
stuff.
the
No, I
funniest
wasn't even referring to you that
I know
time.
you were going to.
But you always do. It'll be like Christmas.
The hard part is like
It's terrible.
trying to censor our dark humor so it's not traumatizing to our 14-year-old.
Poor Aunt Bonnie.
And he's not walking around with a terrible, horrifying sense of humor, but...
No, you just gotta know. Like, you just gotta know sometimes, but... You always do it. I know it's going to happen. We get together for Christmas. It's a holiday. Somebody always has to ask, oh, what's the worst call you've ever ran? And I'm like, why? Why would you do that right now?
Everybody always asks it.
It is just ridiculous.
It's hard to determine how to deal with that question. It's like, okay, yes, please make me relive my horrible,
worst day.
Horrible calls. I used to just be mean and just tell people, like, oh, do you want to hear it? Okay. And then I'll just tell you this.
I've had to sit there terrified.
This terrible
as you're
story.
telling a story.
And
that
people
it's just
never know how to respond.
Yeah,
they
because
expect
they're
you to tell,
mortified.
and then you tell them something real, and then they get really quiet. And I was like, oh, you didn't want to hear that?
No, they really didn't want to know.
They just wanted to, like, kind of make conversation, but I will say, though, when it does happen, it can be really funny.
It is not.
Next question.
Who's got the next question? Next question. Moving on. We're running out of time.
Next question?
Yes. Next question,
right,
please. I'm drowning here. Yes.
Notes guy.
All right. So
oh,
my
you're supposed to ask me something,
for
right?
you is, let's see. What are some things you'd like us as a whole, as a family, to improve on?
Laundry. Next question. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, you do your laundry. You do good. It's good.
He's been doing really good.
Yeah.
And what are some things you feel our work has affected in a negative fashion in the family dynamics?
Ooh. Can we keep talking about all the good stuff? I think we do a much better job as a family now of really, I would say, being purposeful about the time that we spend together and making it a point to make it quality and kind of plan it out a little bit more. Like Sundays are family days, and we don't plan any other events with, outside people normally unless it's a special circumstance.
It's mom, grandma.
Yeah, it's all family stuff. We can hang out, we can go out for lunch, we can have a picnic, we can watch movies, but it's just our day to kind of reconnect. And I think for a while we were all planning different things, and we would go weeks without really spending quality time together, and us not doing that and setting that time aside, we weren't able to process stuff.
I wouldn't
we weren't
say
able
weeks, but it would be it would be a
while.
Disparate gap of us just making sure that we're just
checking
enjoying
in,
each other's company.
Yeah, and we don't even have to do anything, but just being together on a day and setting that time aside has been really helpful. And I think for you and I, husband, our date nights are like one of the things that I love our family days, but our date nights are the thing that I look forward to like all week. So I'm always looking up like what movies are coming out this week, or where can we go have a nice dinner or whatever. And it's really nice to still be able to date you and be able to spend that time just reconnecting and talking and really sharing with each other the parts of the week that we miss, because we don't really spend all day every day together, because our schedule's offset and we only have Sunday off on the same day. So I think, us, yes, for now. So I think us being able to go out and just kind of woo each other and get dressed up and, the last few weeks I've been just like slipping since we got married, but you know what you got. And I really appreciate
my version of dressed up is my 5'11" jeans.
And tactical boots in a non-tactical situation.
And I wear a polo.
You do. You dress it up with a polo. So I think that kind of stuff of like making sure we set time aside specifically for things for us to reconnect every week, I think that's good. I think in the past, the difficult part about being first responders when we weren't doing that was we both had pretty bad habits from being in the field that we brought home. And it's kind of like, your boots. Do you take your boots off at the front door or do you leave them on and kind of walk that stuff through the house? And we all know if you've been in, BMS or a first responder for any amount of time, you're not walking those boots in your house, and we know we take them off, or at least you get yelled at if you don't take them off, because we know what we walk through all day. And so
need to leave poop tracks through the living
we
room.
don't want poop tracks. No.
No poop tracks. Mate does that.
No, yeah. But I think, we do that emotionally. I think we do that physically with the calls that we run and the people that we come in contact with, where we'll have residual stuff left over or be frustrated or angry at somebody that we work with, and we don't deal with it, and we kind of bring it home, and we walk it through the house, and we're short with family, or we aren't actively involved in home life because we aren't processing what we do at work. And that's the equivalent in those other areas.
Or we're both so tired and not realizing that we are tired because we're carrying extra weight around from that stuff.
And so we had to recognize that, when we get home from work, we got to leave our boots at the door, whatever that might be. And if that means that we have to start processing those relationships better, if that means that we have to do different things at work to handle those arguments and stuff before we get home, if that means we need a text message back and forth to solve an unsolved issue so that the next time we see each other, we can move on with, our lives.
Yell or vent to each other, or talk to our partner at work, or
just
coworkers.
Deal with it, So you're not...
If you have to unleash some steam, do it before you come in the door.
So that when you get home, you can be home.
I think making date night a priority was big because we still go, even if we're tired.
Yeah.
And even if we don't go, we'll cook something nice for each other and have a date night in. Or we make it a point, even if we're tired and we haven't, let's say last week we ate dinner in.
Yeah.
Well, we make it a point to go out. And we go do that. And we always have fun, even if we come back a little bit late. And we have to get up early the next day. It's not as big a deal.
Right.
Because we went out and had fun.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I think, those little things are really helpful. And, I mean, it's a process. I don't think, it's an end result, right? Because we just really got married like a month ago. But,
We've been pretty much married for a while. But
I know.
Legally speaking.
Well, now when you wear your ring, it's less weird. It's awesome. So,
it was a
I wore
ring.
mine too. I know. You're so sweet. I love it. I have all my rings too. So, I think the focus on family and relationship building and processing what you are experiencing at work, so when you come home, you can actually be home mentally as well as physically, and just really focus on the small stuff, but that adds, in the long run to this big picture of, you have all these little memories of quality time and playing games and spending time together and doing what other, each person in the family is interested in, like doing something with Hugo that he likes, or something that I want to do, or something that you want to do, that we can over time look back and go, man, how awesome was it that we were able to do all these little things every day and spend time together every day.
It's not just the big trips. It's like...
Yeah, it's the little stuff, I think. Sometimes that's like the coolest.
Even just going to play mini golf, or even going to just hang out in the backyard and throw the ball around.
Or doing Beat Saber.
Yeah, Beat Saber's
that was
awesome.
So much fun.
I love that game. I never thought I'd get into gaming again, and then I have an addiction to that game. I don't even know.
The best part was thinking that when I came home that you were going to beat me at Beat Saber.
Yeah, that was pretty upsetting.
And then that time yesterday where I
yeah, well, let's not talk about that.
I think the best part was you playing that first-person shooter and getting knocked on your butt when somebody threw
Oh
a
my
flashbang
gosh! So let me tell you guys that are listening,
the
VR. I know,
yeah.
This virtual reality gaming system stuff is ridiculous. I literally fell on my butt because I thought when they were shooting at me, it was really coming at my face, and I fell over, and it was super embarrassing. And I told you that in confidence. I can't believe you said that on the podcast. Nobody even saw me. No one would have known about it. But
I mean, Christian says his vape on on the table because we were playing Five Nights at Freddy's, and on the virtual table because we were playing
Twice.
Yeah,
Twice.
Oh,
It was
how
twice.
funny!
So we're playing Five Nights at Freddy's, and when you die, you
You
teleport
sit
to
in front of this
room.
table, and the table looks so damn real. I went to set my vape on it
His
twice.
actual vape.
2
That's
times.
hilarious.
Almost dropped it. I was
Well,
there
because
for it.
you forget, when
You
you're
do,
playing
yeah.
virtual reality.
I was in a I like my job simulator, my vacation simulator, and there's this point where I was in it, like I got my head in the game,
yeah.
like it was so bad that I
Did you start walking? Because I do that when I'm playing
I do
that game.
a lot. When I play that game, I do
Yeah.
that a lot. So I remember I was walking and I was doing stuff, and then I felt something plush at the end of the controller, and so I feel it with my other hand, and it's the seat.
Oh, yeah.
Like the love seat that's right there.
Yeah.
Like, wow, that's so far. Like, I was just walking around. I was doing stuff.
Grandma Jade did the
That's
same
crazy.
thing. She was scooting her chair back and back and back, scooting
That's
away
so
Yeah.
funny.
halfway across the damn living room to get away from Five Nights at Freddy's.
That's so funny.
Oh, yeah, that was so much fun.
I love I love board games that we play. I like playing
5 Minute Dungeon,
Yeah,
for those
5
of you
Minute
listening,
Dungeon
is
is
a
such a
fantastic
fun
family
game.
game.
Sponsor us, please.
It's
They are amazing.
right. We love you, 5 Minute Dungeon, sponsor the podcast. No, it's awesome. Like we totally love spending time together. I think, for me, after, so many years of working, in the industry, I've realized, like, I had a point where I really wanted to get to in my career and things that I want to accomplish. And obviously, I still have a lot that I want to contribute. But, more and more, I think the coolest part about, my career is that it gives me all the relationships and all the friendships that I have, like all the people that we've worked with over the years, they're my family. And I get to go to work and be with my family, and then I get to come home and be with my family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
a good chunk of our
doesn't-
coworkers are all friends and
they're
family,
friends,
and
and I love like
it's
all
awesome
my
to make those
coworkers.
relationships.
Like they have kids now, and their kids are like
well, and
my
any
nieces
one of
and
them,
nephews. I love them to death.
It's-
you
it's
know?
like
any one of them we could leave Hugo with without
Yeah.
any question that he'd be in good hands,
Yeah,
and not have to think twice about it.
Absolutely.
And that part's pretty huge.
that's amazing. That we work with these people,
and
and
I mean,
our
they're
family.
friends to the point where they're over here a
Yeah.
lot, and
A lot,
Hugo
yeah.
knows them, and
Yeah,
that makes a big difference too.
yeah, they're like a part of our life that you can't replace that, you
Yeah.
know, and it's because of the career that we have that we're all so close.
It's like Hannah Montana. It's the best of both worlds.
Okay,
You have-
okay, all right.
Good lord.
Settle down with the Hannah Montana.
I was going to say, experiencing these terrible things really makes a big bond between you
I
and
think
whoever
so.
you go through it with, and
Yeah,
you don't have to explain anything to them because they were there with you.
yeah.
And I
On
will
Street
say,
Corners, seriously,
Yeah.
there were some rough calls that we ran with Auntie Amanda back in the day.
and Chase and Brett
Oh
and
my
Harry
God.
and
Woo,
Our whole little
some calls.
our whole little full house.
Yeah,
Of friends.
Brian.
Yeah.
I think
Friends,
the
if you will.
I think the best plus though to having two EMS parents is whenever we go to any theme park or anything, we're ready for.
like
Anything.
prepared. Okay, that's a whole nother podcast.
no,
I
but can
think
I-
we
real
are
quick?
so out of time. Yeah,
No, wait,
go
listen.
ahead. Go ahead.
What was it? So I learned this sort of recently. I have a habit of overpacking because I live in this whole EMS family. So I went to Los Angeles with one of my friends, right? Little Tokyo. It's a really nice place.
Mm-hmm.
Go check it out. So I pack a full bag. It has, my inhaler. It has multiple water bottles. It has a laptop for some reason. It has everything. Multiple chargers. Like
What?
I charged multiple before the day.
Don't ask why.
Okay.
And so I learned, I packed all this stuff, and I thought, hey, it's because I live with EMS parents.
That's
and
right.
I learned how to overpack because of them.
It's not overpacking. It's just being prepared. You never know.
Yeah, but like half of the stuff. I
Right. So
didn't
you've
need
got to
these.
have it all. I don't know about the laptop.
Yeah, but if you did need
Yeah.
it, you had
But
it.
you
I had
definitely, especially having water on you, you can never go wrong with having
Yeah.
extra water on you if you're going out for a day on the town. But yeah. Well, thank you so much. I guess, no, you do the sign off. It's your thing.
So, okay, I can probably do this.
Yeah,
All
go
right.
ahead. Do your thing.
Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. I want to thank you guys for having me on it. Hey, can I plug something real
Do your
quick?
plug. Do your plug.
All right, so if you want to hear my buttery smooth voice unedited, you can listen to the Pastors Guild podcast. That is PASTORSGUILD, Pastors Guild. It's on Apple Podcasts and a few other podcast apps. I don't know. Go ahead and listen to it. It's really good. I'm on it. It's amazing. We have a really fun time talking about a comic that we're making. And I think that's the only thing I'm on. I don't really have like a YouTube channel or anything, so.
It's okay, we're gonna get there.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I'm maybe making my own podcast.
Woohoo!
Friends.
Look forward to hearing your podcast
Yes.
with your friends, Hugo. Thank you so much for hosting today's Coffee Talk Podcast Family Podcast Day.
Woo.
Woo. Thanks so
All
much
right.
for listening in, and we hope that you check back soon.
Thank you guys.